Okay, now I'm going to go through the essentials in your DSLR kit. Things that pretty much you need to take photographs from the start, as well as things that I consider essential to take good photographs. So starting with the body and the lens, that's essential for taking photographs. There's different lens options. You can get different lenses like bigger zoom lenses or even prime lenses, which I'll talk more about later. And then you definitely need to have a battery and memory card in the camera and a charger. Now if you buy a kit, you'll get these all in your kit. You'll get the body, you'll get a kit lens, and you'll get the battery and the charger, but you won't get a memory card. You need to order that in addition to your kit. If you're buying the body on its own, then you need to get both the lens and the memory cards, but you will get a battery and a charger. Now, in addition to that, an essential tool if you want to really get good photographs and be certain about having the right color is either a gray card. Here we have an 18% gray card, and that's great for getting your white balance correct, and I'll go through that in the actual white balance videos. Another option is to actually use a disc which you place in front of the lens. This is called an expo disc, and this is also used for getting correct white balance, and I'll also demonstrate that in the white balance videos. The handy thing about these discs is of course the compactness. Rather than carrying around a large card, you can just slip this into your kit with your camera, and it's not much bigger than a regular filter, so that's a really handy option. And another essential item is to have a dust blower. That's great for just keeping dust out of your camera, and also just in the places where you find it hard to clean, you can blow the dust out. Lens tissues, special paper for cleaning lenses. You don't want to use just regular paper or regular cloths. Better to get proper lens tissues, that way you're not going to scratch your lenses. And there's special fluid, lens cleaning fluid, that you get for cameras for cleaning lenses as well. And then if you're going to actually travel around with your camera, the next essential item is some kind of camera bag. You can either get a more compact bag. This is actually a bag that fits around your hip, so that's quite an interesting style. But you get a lot of compact bags that you can put your camera and a few lenses in, as well as your charger and additional batteries and filters. So this basic kit can fit in most bags that you can get for your DSLRs. I like these particular bags. These are the backpack travel bags. Now that's actually my favorite way of carrying my camera around, because you can get a lot of gear in these. And they don't shout out, "This is a camera," either, so to me it's actually a safer option too. People aren't going to be trying to grab your big Canon or Nikon camera bag because they just think it's a regular backpack. So it has compartments that you can move around and to fit your camera body. Usually you can fit your camera and a lens in the middle, and then you can fit other lenses, flashes, and a whole bunch of extra accessories, as well as lens cleaning tissues and charger and cabling and everything. And one of the great things about this particular bag is the pocket at the back. This actually has a dedicated pocket at the back where you can slide your laptop. That way you can have all your camera gear in the front, and you can slip your laptop in the back, and you're ready to travel and be able to process your photographs wherever you go as well. Now when traveling too, another item I would always recommend too, in addition to getting extra memory cards, having some kind of memory card protector. This is actually a little travel case for my memory cards, and it's totally waterproof and will protect your memory cards against any damage while you're traveling. So definitely a handy thing to have, and really essential if you want to go traveling. Now aside from these essentials, there's some other items which I want to show you quickly, which you'll need if you start wanting to expand your photography into more creative areas. And the first item is a dedicated flash. So if you're going to do any serious flash photography, the onboard flashes, pop-up flashes that some of the new models have are fine for occasional flash use and maybe just for fill-in flash for, you know, just removing shadows and that. And I'm going to go into details about all that in the flash videos, but a dedicated flash is definitely a requirement if you're going to do more serious flash photography. And with the flash as well, I would recommend getting some kind of diffuser. I'm going to talk all about diffusers in a dedicated video I have on flash diffusers in the flash module. And another thing you might want to have if you're going to do a lot of landscape photography, which is something I'm going to describe more in the landscape section too, is filters, particularly polarized filters. So that's something that you just screw on the front of your lens. You get the appropriate size for your particular lens, and it just screws on the front. Now some filters will actually make it darker, so it's mostly recommended when it's brighter outdoors. And I'll talk more about that when I talk more about exposure and nature photography. And another option if you want to start getting creative with your photographs too is some kind of remote release, particularly these kind of wired ones which have a timer function. So that's for taking time-lapse photographs. So you can actually set an interval there and it'll take photographs every so many seconds or whatever interval you choose. And I'm going to describe more about that in the time-lapse video if you're a gold member, and that'll be under the Let's Get Creative section. And one final thing for experimenting more with your photography is a tripod. That's really used a lot for things like night photography, time-lapse, and even if you want to include yourself in photographs, it's definitely a very used item in my kit. So those are all things which I consider essential for when you're building your kit. I mean, these things can be built in time. You definitely want those original things up and running to take photographs, but these additional things like tripod, flash, remote timer are things that you can add in time, and also of course you may want to add lenses in time too. And as we go through the different videos, you're going to see which kind of lenses you may like to purchase depending on the type of photography you want to take. Now there's also a few specialist items, like you can actually get tilt shift lenses. So if you start heading into more architectural photography, then those tilt shift lenses are great because they actually correct for perspective distortions, but depending on what angle you're taking photographs of architecture. And there's also other specialist lenses and things as well. I'll also talk about other specific items in the videos in the creative section. For instance, macro. I won't go through all the macro items now because that's really a specialist field. If you're interested in getting macro photographs, there's certain tools that you want to get for that. So really when you're getting a DSLR camera, you're really getting a kit, and you start off with the basics, which I mentioned at first. And you don't have to memorize all this, don't worry about that. I'm going to have a checklist down the bottom where you can download, and I'll list it as basic requirements for taking photographs and then other items depending on which direction you want to take with your photography. And then in the particular creative sections I will list additional accessories and that you may want for those particular types of photographs. So like I say, it's really getting a DSLR is really getting a system, and you're building on that depending on the direction that your photography takes you. So in this module you've got an overview of what a DSLR is and the benefits, and what the basic kit requirements are, and some other essentials that you can get for your kit to start experimenting more with your photography. And now you're ready to jump into the DSLR basics videos, which will start talking about all the actual settings and photographic principles that you need to understand to really push your photography to the next level and understand how to use your DSLR. So when you're ready, jump into those videos. Thank you.